Right. Hi, everyone. I welcome you on today's topic. The discussion today is soldiers of end time. Soldiers of end time. But before I move on this very topic, very hot topic, let me read this for you. Pope Francis, the head of affairs of the Vatican City, or the head of the Catholic faith, said, or this is said by Pope Francis. So I want to make sure that this comes from the horse's mouth or something like that, so that if I quote what Pope Francis said, somebody might not say it's one of those social media affairs, or it's one of those social media issues. You know, his stories, his fabrication is this or that. Right now, I want you to have this as first-hand information. He said Pope Francis cancels the Bible, and Pope Francis cancels the Bible and proposes to create a new book. Pope Francis surprised the world today by announcing that the Bible is totally outdated and in need of radical change. Thus, the Bible is officially cancelled, and a meeting with high personalities with the book that will replace it, as well as the name and the content, will be decided and to be announced by the church. Do you hear that? Some names are already under study, and the most possible name is Biblia 2000. Biblia 2000. We cannot keep trying to talk to our audience in a completely new world with an old book of several thousands of years. We are losing disciples, and we have to seek to modernize the church. We write the Word of God. We write the Word of God. Even if it is only the Old Testament, in which there are certain passages which are better not to be repeated. Fellow Christians, fellow audience out there, or fellow fans, or my followers, please, let me take this permission from you. I'm about to discuss Christian affairs, issues that concerns Christian on this globe. Because you might say, why am I segregating this or that? It might not interest you because of your faith, but give us this consent. Let us discuss this first, so that we know what is ahead of us as Christians, and we know how we can put everything in shape. Right. You see, this Pope is the head of the Catholic, and he had millions of followers around the globe. Most especially, the world might be 5 or 6 point something billion people on this planet Earth today, if I may say. More than half of this population are Christians, and this is the man, or this is the in charge of affairs affecting the lives of Christians all over the world, if not Catholics. Now, this man, out of his conscience, out of his reasoning, out of his wisdom, somebody who is shouldering the affairs of Christianity on this planet, the only innovation, the only decision that came into his mind is to change the Word of God, is to rewrite the Bible. I mean, you can imagine that. Let me tell you this. At the end of this write-up here, some of the listeners, or some of the, maybe probably the editor, said this is one of the madness of Pope Francis. This is one of the madness of Pope Francis. You can imagine. Some time ago, this man with, or this pope with other, world leaders or people that are agents of or soldiers of end time program. They converge in the Vatican City. The head of the Muslims are there, head of the Buddhists are there, head of the Jewish religion are there, head of the Buddhist Judaism are there, head of all religions all over the world gathered in Vatican. They had an agreement, they signed the communique, and they said this is world religion. World religion. People, the Christians didn't do much about that. It was hardly heard all over the world. And today, the document is existing. And they continue to carry out the affairs, to make the whole thing institutionalized all around the world. Then again, probably nobody said anything about that. There was no single hard reactions from every corner of the world. Now they decided to go for the second step. The second step now is to change the Bible, because these agents, soldiers of end time, they believe Catholic faith or Christianity believes so much in this Bible, and this is the only way to manipulate their mind, to manipulate their belief, to manipulate the way of living. Now they invaded the Bible, and they used the Pope to achieve this. You can imagine that. Who is this Pope? This is the question. Can people continue to listen to the madness of this man? There is a thing God said in the Bible. He said, "I honor my word more than my name." You see that? And we believe that the word of God is an old age thing. God changed the world. God created the world with his word. Everything concerning Christianity on this earth is the word of God. That is why he call it Christian faith. And the word is embedded with the faith. There is nothing you can do about it. Now, when this man changed this word of God, probably to the word of Pope or to the word of the agents, how do Christianity work on their faith again? What will be the fate of Christianity on this very planet? What will be the future of Christianity? These are the questions we need to ask this very Pope. He's supposed to be called a Rastafarian or a radical element imposed on Vatican. How can just a Pope shouldering the face of Christians all over the world decide to do this? Let me tell you this. If this Pope meant well for Christianity or Christendom, why can't he start talking about genocide? Many parts of the world, Christians are persecuted day in, day out. He talks nothing about it. There are a lot of radical issues going around the globe, and this is happening to Christians. There are a lot of things happening where laws are implemented against Christians in several countries. This Pope says nothing about it. There are hungers and death all around the globe against Christians in one issue or the other. This Pope is not saying anything about it. Okay, now homosexualism is existing inside the Vatican, inside St. Peter's Basilica. Pope is not doing much about it. There is an issue of pedophilism in the same Catholic, in the same Vatican, against the clergy, alleged against the clergy, which people are so visible. It's been covered with blanket. Nobody's saying much about it. There are a lot of abuses by the clergy against the faithfuls. Nobody's doing anything about all these things. But the only thing that is the concern and serious issue for this Pope to innovate is to change the word of God. This is a battle he wants to fight, but he cannot win the war. It's an impossible. It's just like what is said in the Bible. You come to kick the prick. Whoever kicks the prick got himself injured. Pope is trying to kick a prick. Can he be able to accomplish this? Can this lead him to a successful end of his leadership of the Roman Catholic faith? No, this is very hard to achieve. no matter what they used him, no matter what they promised him, no matter what he's gunning for, by changing the word of God, he's trying to change his life, change his destiny, change his future, and change his generation. God can forgive anything. God, I believe, I'm not speaking the mind of God, but I know God can do something about this. You know, we can't think much about this. If God really know that he's the God that created heaven and earth, if God really know that something is about to happen to his word, which everybody believed in, this is the time for God to rise up from his holy throne. This is a fight for God. He has to do so. God has to do something about this. Let God do something about this. Before this radical, before this element gets the Christians injured, knowingly or unknowingly, because I know this is by commission. You know, somebody somewhere out there is, you know, masterminding, you know, putting fire on all these things, so that it will, when it ignites, everywhere will be destroyed and they achieve their end. I believe God rules heaven and earth. I believe God rules the thoughts and face of human being. So God is out there. If nobody is doing anything, God must do something, because we believe in God and we believe He's in action. When He starts reacting, people will know that really God is involved. Somebody out there must advise this Pope. Let him put this to a final stop. Let him not take decision to change the Bible, to change the Word of God. Now, probably in future, now we start saying Bible, Word of God 2024, Word of God 2025. Because the moment you put the Biblia 2020 or 2000, probably more are coming. Someone, somehow, Pope cannot live forever on this earth. The moment another Pope is installed, who knows the nature and kind of Pope that will be installed? He will come in with his own issues. Probably Bill Gates might not be there to sponsor him, or another radical, a soldier of this, of this world religion, of this agents of end time. When you see him, probably they give another title to that very Bible that will be in existence that time, or to the issues that will arise at that very particular time. So it continues like that. Then do you think God will on his own throne keep quiet and allow these people to continue with this radical idea? It's impossible. Unless God is not the creator of mankind, unless he's not supreme over the face of human being, then he can then keep quiet. Then he will allow Christians to be rubbished in this way. It will never happen. We believe God, we trust God, and we hope in God. We believe this thing cannot see the light of the day at the end of the tunnel. Believe it or not. Do not panic wherever you are. But this man has shown the kind of person he is. Yeah. When these agents are using him to perpetuate evil against humanity, it's not gonna work. We didn't come into this world. Human beings never existed from nowhere. God owns our life. Whether you are big or small, whether you are big or big, God owns our life. And God takes decision over our face of humanity. So it is his fight, and God must fight to win. God never will lose a battle. He's the Almighty. He's the omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient God. His power will be the last word. So Pope Francis, think twice. You have to be very careful with what those agents are doing. You must be very careful not to allow them to use you beyond this idea anymore. Beware and mind what you are doing. You are trying to bite more than you can chew. Thank you for listening. I will leave it here for now. Great. Stay blessed. See you on top.